Julie here, and today it's going to be just an updating video. As those who have been following me know, I have been trying to work with the moon, and we're a couple of days before the full moon. That I think will be my last video before the full moon, so we will meet each other at the new moon. This is the beginning of next month, so there are going to be about 2 weeks um, gap, and then I'm going to return broadcasting again. So for this video, there's nothing scripted. Just want to update you with a couple of things that I've learned and a couple of things that can, perhaps promote you. It is not necessarily tips that I developed. So this is nothing that is, my copywriting or anything like that. I'm just sharing my experiences. So one of the recent things I've learned is human design and the idea of authority. That means that we each have a place in our body or body mind where we know what we know through. This idea basically means that one person can know the world according to um, their throat chakra. And when they speak their truth, they sort of know what is right and wrong for them. Some people through heart chakra, some people through skull chakra. It's the lower belly, the womb for those of you who have womb, and lower belly for those who don't have womb. And I have been curious about this idea scientifically, basically, because it would mean various ranges of epistemic standards. So to do science in this way, and to get to know the world in this way, different people can use perhaps different chakras, and we'll have various perspectives or various ways to know the world. I'm talking not only about, human interactions and how we make decisions in life, but also how we learn about the cosmos, how we interpret data, how we form a research question. These are things that are interesting to me as a science geek. So those who are not that aware, I know I haven't been doing channeling videos for a while, so those who are not that aware of why am I so interested in epistemic standards and what are epistemic standards, I have been studying in the academy for 2 degrees, almost 2 degrees, and have been interested in the body-mind question in medicine, but also conventional medicine, not just psychology, psychiatry, and neuroscience, but also conventional medicine. And that led me to an understanding that if we know what's right or wrong, or if we know how to treat the body, or if we receive methods of how to treat patients that is quite scientific, maybe we can also know, you know, cosmology and physics and math, and receive these downloads or informations or intuition about information. I've learned about channeling. I've learned about claircognizance. It means clear knowing. And I think clairsentience or the clear feeling or being an empath may even help you feel the right data for you. So I'm curious about this topic, and I don't know, maybe maybe that's what I'll do my PhD on. But it definitely would have to be in a different method. So if you're a science geek like me and you're also a spiritual geek like me, so I don't know if there are many people in this place. I'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts about that. If not, I'd like to still hear if you find it as, you know, interesting as I do. So that's the idea about authority. And I have been using, my own tips, my own methods to heal the skull chakra. And of course, my methods are a lot of times integrated, many integrated methods that can combine into power tips and tools that I share here in other videos. And I noticed in my life that a scientist, I tend to still interpret with the mind the knowledge of the body, and I'm learning to sort of like give every body part the place and voice. and make the decisions in a way that's integrated. So one thing I learned is about how my womb feels concerning intimate relationship, and this is something that's, I don't quite know if it is, permanent, or, but I did notice that the feel of it is that it's going to be relaxed and open when it is, and sometimes even a bit warm, when it is in its happy place decision concerning these issues. Not just, of course, sex. That's a very good thing to listen to the body first that have sex if you want to know, what's good for us. It can also give me ideas like, what do I feel like now? What do I feel like now? And it's like giving ideas, not just saying this is good for me. This not. It gives me ideas. So I don't know if it works like this also for you. If you tried it. For those of you who are practicing conscious masturbating, I have a couple of videos about that. You can always ask questions. So I find it nice that it gives me ideas, and it's very dynamic. But that's, maybe my sexuality. I don't know how does it work for you. But it also tells me when it's not comfortable, or when something is not in alignment, for example, with my attachment style, commitment style, then it immediately tells me, and it also tells me the reason why. So, for example, a lot of people, I've been in a poly community, and a lot of people in poly deal with, the jealousy of having more than one partner. And those who are not in the poly, those who are monogamous, usually talk about that they just cannot contain a jealousy. They cannot contain jealousy, or they have possessiveness that they cannot contain, and so they prefer monogamy, or for sometimes for practical reasons, not only that reason. But I noticed that um, for me, it is not even jealousy or anything like that, but like a sense of sacred union. That if it is, broken, it is like the murder of the soul. But then it can also allow another energy in, so I'm not sure about that. But this is something that also piqued my curiosity, because I've heard about a lot of soul union approaches to sexuality that in the past I've been quite doubtful about, because I think, I was like, isn't that sort of, sexually outdated idea, or how much, emphasis does it place on the agency of the person and not just, spiritual or religious ideas. But this is something that came really from the Carol, so it's a personal experience. I don't know how generalized it is, how not generalized, but if you've experienced something different, yes, um, with your sexualities, then I'd be curious to know other experiences. And if you have been experiencing something similar, that you listen to your skull chakra if you have skull authority, and it says, okay, not just heart chakra saying, okay, I cannot be this or that because of jealousy, because of possessiveness, but literally because it feels like there is sacred union that is for me, two people. If you felt that, and so how was it for you? How did you learn about this? And what do you do to enhance your own experiences of those of relationship? All of this data really helps me be, better scientist and better manifester, I think. And that's the important point that I didn't want to say. I just insisted not for this not to be scripted. And the important point I did want to put in here is the yes space and the vision. I've talked about my yes space, and I have two videos about yes space. One is just a small meditation that's 2-3 minutes of saying yes, yes, yes. But this is to the inner throat chakra authority, so you can try it. I try to put it in my scroll, like to have my scroll say yes. So sometimes it may not be in verbal yes space. So that's something I have like rethought. Maybe the authority is different. The yes space is going to feel different. But whatever your authority is, make sure that you manifest with the body. So the scale chakra is very manifesting chakra. There are also the heart chakra. Um, but make sure you manifest with the body when the body is giving you that feeling of this is a yes for me, and try and see how it goes. It's something I talk about, but I don't talk about. I don't know if it cannot be overemphasized. I want to emphasize it like even deeper. If you're watching this, mm, if it, for example, like me, that you felt like the skull chakra being active, and make sure that the skull chakra is manifesting. So when you listen to what it has to say to you, you also begin to trust it that it will manifest. The mind is sort of kind of, that's my experience, but the mind is sort of kind of, will it happen? Will this happen? Will this, will not? And understanding that there is another source of knowledge here and giving it a chance, being curious, make an experiment, can sort of like bring you ideas on how it is possible. For example, when I was manifesting not being so concerned about monogamy, then I manifested, like suddenly I saw there's a whole poly community in my country that I can address these questions with. When I was having out of body experiences and I wanted to know that I'm not alone in this, I just asked people, and I ran into someone who was channeler and shared her story with me. I shared my story with her, and I ran into more people who have these experiences. And I've learned that a lot of things that I thought were impossible, for example, to get out of isolation, were possible. And all I have to do is to put myself out there and share me with the world, and I get new ideas on how to look for these people. I do it a lot for my business as well. For example, this video is not a commercial video. I do refer to stuff that I invented through it, but it comes up in the flow. Because I was worried about, just sharing me here, not going anywhere, not going anywhere. But then I realized I'm doing my own thing because I want to try something different and really live me and my purpose in this life. So I have to release my own inner society structure. My own inner, everything that I've learned about, having goals and having particular steps and strategies, and sometimes it's very true, um, and have to allow in that fresh energy that is the reason I left the jobby job sort of lifestyle. And I'm also being supported. I'm also being supported by people that I didn't even realize I'd be supported in, even within traditional systems that believe in me, and I have the challenge of believing in myself. So this is a lot of having progressing, and how even when I do, step out there and do my own thing, um, I can put a video like this that is not scripted and it's not promotional and it's not directed at bringing leads to the table, and it's just sharing who I am also in my career space, in my workspace, because this is what I want to do, and this is how I see the future of business world. And it's going to be a learning procedure of how do I do that. So if I talk about my three pillars of my business, and something I've learned, or my life mission is similar. So it's creativity and creation. On my Instagram I do share sometimes even drawings that I make, like small sketches, and maybe music or so. And it's science, what I talk about, epistemic standards, epistemology, get you guys to Google stuff, guys and girls and people, to Google stuff and to think of science differently and to integrate what we know about authority differently. And then there is the yes space, the manifestation. That's the practical tools that can be free coaching, even the really practical tools that help you get in your yes space and get in your sort of to inspire you to live life the way you want it. And I want to share my why with you. I don't know how I've discussed it in the past, but basically I have survived violence, And I realized that things kept me there. One thing is that I was not leaving my yes space, not even knowing what my yes space is. So of course, I'd run up. If the very fact that I'm not living my own yes space is abusive and violent towards me, that's true to everybody. Don't have to go through extreme violence to go there. And the other thing is that I had a need, a desire to grow with people, not to grow alone, not to be isolated. So then it can, bring about the wish that the other person would understand or change, because you want to grow together with a person. You don't want to understand and change all by yourself. And so I found adaptable ways to meet that need. So that is sharing myself with the community and finding community of people who also go through similar things while maintaining our separateness and our sense of individuality, through which we can connect and find the common ground and the variations. Talk about the variations on the canon of truth with my own first channeling video. Then that all relates, and that is my why I do what I do, to have more clarity about my life purpose. So all of these things I wanted to share with you. I think, yeah, I think that's it. And this, I think, is going to be my last video before the full moon. There is a full moon on Sag in the 17th. I suggest you to take a look at Sagittarius, to take a look at the full moon, to take a look at the many astrology videos out there. There is Raquel Spring that I really, really love. There is Slada Dunchev's channel. Ksenia Moore, that I mentioned her on Instagram. There is Barbara, whose channel I love. She does channeling and music and astrology, and they all explain about the full moon energies. So if you want to know more about this topic and how is the full moon operating this month, then just search YouTube for full moon in Sagittarius June 2019, and you'll get a lot of beautiful, beautiful stuff. Um, there was also this week particular energies in the sky that you might be interested in. I think we're going through this. So for those of you who are more astrology geeks, you may, or energy geeks, you may be interested to know about that. I don't know if yeah, I think I talked about my channeling messages from, no, I didn't. I had, I think 2 weeks ago, a channeling message from someone who identified themselves as Haniel. So that's Archangel Haniel. And I think I spoke with more archangels. So for me, I'm more claircognizant and clairsentient. So I don't see the angel, but they sort of like speak or have a voice. But it's not like clairaudience. It's sort of like I'm writing, and it's something very subtle. That's why I had to hard time to identify. It's like, is it my imagination? Oh yes, this is imagination. It's channeling. So I was very happy to hear a name there. And I also found out that I had orbs around me. I don't know if they're here. We had to go frame by frame. One of my videos, I think it was the manifesting relationship in June 19, this Carol, the using projection video. That's the one I used to clear my skull chakra. Not the only thing, but this is like really, really powerful tip that I had to give. And someone told me that I have orbs. So orbs are like light beings, and they can take all kinds of forms. It can be energy of people, and they were coming through my right ear. This is my receptive side. Although I had experience with energy coming from the left and front, usually I receive from the right and back. So that was also new to me. Um, So you can, search orbs if you're interested in that. That was something, and I actually stopped the screen frame by frame. You can check this video and stop the screen frame by frame. That there is a comment there of someone who explained me exactly how to do it and what frames the orbs come in. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I may even have orbs in my videos for you. Um, so yeah, I don't see them like like this, but if you stop frame by frame, you can see that that's, yeah, 20 minutes. Reasonable for so many things that I had to update you. So let me know in the comments if something resonates with you. What were your experiences? And I think this was going to be my last video before the full moon, and that means I'm only going to see you next month. So what's happening in between these 2 weeks that I'm probably not going to upload any videos? That's your time to go over the videos that resonated with you, to go over stuff that you haven't practiced and you want to practice, to just relax and digest things, to meditate if you're meditating. It's a more mellow time. Sometimes it's going to be a dark night of the soul time, although we definitely have been having dark night of the soul this week, some of us. I know I have, but I'm feeling very illuminated right now because it's clear that I think I cried for a couple of hours yesterday, releasing some childhood trauma, and this is really the time to relax, to go over the stuff, to give yourself this time to rest, to digest things, and to prepare for what steps are you going to take in the next new moon. That means 2 days after the new moon, when the moon becomes visible in the sky. So I'm going to probably talk about the new moon um, in 2 weeks when it's new moon, but you can look for new moon July 2019. I'm sure there are a lot of astrologers that will have energy updates that I don't know or don't know yet to tell you, because I'm not yet channeling astrology so much. I'm channeling science. This is what I do. So I'll see you next month. I may have Instagram posts from time to time. I'll probably dedicate more time to engagement, so um, I might be missing from Instagram too in the next 2 weeks. So those of you who follow me on Instagram, that's the time to take a rest from social media. Try that in your business and see how it goes. I have a lot of entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, soulpreneurs, friends from I met on Instagram and also here on YouTube. And I think we all need to rethink how we structure business, not just according to hormones and ovulation for those who have womb and ovulation, but also according to nature and the natural cycles and the moon. So there is the sun cycle that's daily and monthly, and there is the lunar cycle. And I think giving a lot more place to the lunar cycle will improve um, our productivity and our, effectivity in the world. It's a hypothesis, and I'm learning it right now, and I'm trying that with you, growing with you. So see you in 2 weeks. Miss you already. Bye bye.